Assalamu alaikum. Hi, Oracle Reiki spiritual healer. And so as we have our discussions and we really, do it big here on YouTube, I really appreciate all of you. We almost are at 6,000 followers. And, I just wanted to say thank you. And, I'm really wishing you all of the best for your New Year's holiday. Again, I don't celebrate holidays. And, so I just wanted to make sure that you guys are having the best time. You're enjoying your family. If I was at home, that's what I would be doing. I would be enjoying my family and friends during this time. So now let's get into our topic. So we have an understanding that the elements have been given to us to purify ourselves. It has been given to us within ourselves. The belief of God is within us. And God gives us direction and leadership in order to purify negative energy, depending on, who you are and what kind of chosen one you are. Okay? So that means that if you are a person who understands how to use the element of water, then you can use that element along with other, herbs, along with other different kinds of rituals in order to purify yourself from negative energy. And again, these people who are in religious spaces, they don't want this type of understanding to go forward in your life because you cleansed them from your life. Those people who have taken and integrated with the entity in your homes, in your relationships, that you should only pay attention to the male. And if you are doing that and you're not going by what God has given you, then you are absolutely in peril. You are in a chaotic situation in your life, because you have to be able to do what God has given you and what God has told you to do, whether you are male or female. So, we have this understanding that when we start to use these types of different elements and apply these elements, we start to apply the holy book to our mind. And the air that we breathe, the spiritual air that we have, the spiritual nature that we have given from God, when we, start to apply those types of truths, the holy books, the truth to our lives, then we have to go up against these entities that are attacking us. These entities are sent and dispatched to attack us, to bring us back in line, to put us back to sleep, because, you are now using the elements where God has given you this spiritual knowledge within your soul. You are using the spiritual air, the fire of your soul, in order to cleanse this negative energy from your life and to separate you from the entity, the truth from lies. So, I had to make sure that we are having this type of conversation and we're having this type of understanding with the chosen one. That's why it should never be, any competition with chosen ones, because some of you, how should I say? Some of you are outstanding. Some of you, some of your children, are outstanding, and I have I've witnessed this type of, power that you have. You have the power to tap into the God spirit. And I'm just taken aback by some of you, and I just wanted to let you know that. So I don't always, say what's on my mind, because it's necessary that you first understand that God has given, the earth element in order for us to purify ourselves. We can use the earth, the wind, the water, the fire, in order to cleanse ourselves from negative energy. And so God uses this in our lives. It is applied to our lives in society every day so that you can see it. When it rains, the blessings come down, when it rains. It gives us water to not only water ourselves, but water our crops, water our animals. These are blessings from God. And this is teaching us, how to purify ourselves. God is speaking to us. And when you are discerning the books, then you have discerned that is a blessing upon us from God. It absolutely says it in the holy books. It says it in the Holy Bible and the Holy Quran. Now we get into, once we start discerning the good things that are upon us, the blessings, the gifts, the power that God has given to some of the chosen ones among us, then we also have to discern the warnings that come with that. There are certain prophets who brought the warnings, and it was not just Moses. It wasn't just Abraham. It was also, Joseph. Joseph came with warnings in times gone by as well. There have been warnings from Daniel, warning from Isaiah, warnings from Jacob that, your children will definitely, be a trial, and some of them are enemies to you. Some of your families are enemies to you. We have that with Jacob and Esau. And I'm just telling you, peace be upon all the prophets. I love all the prophets. And I love talking about their life. But, we have these understandings. We have these understandings that we want to, balance ourselves. We want to be, just in society. We want to be, just in our homes. And that doesn't mean that everybody has to be treated the same way, because you certainly don't want to treat your women folks, your girl children, the same way that you do your boy children. But, in certain things, it should be, balanced out. It should be, they're all cleaning out the refrigerator. They should all know how to, clean their clothes, fold their clothes, press their clothes. Back in the day, and, when I was coming up, we had to iron our clothes, in order to go to school. So we have these understandings, that there are warnings that come from God, that once you allow this type of negative energy, you have seen this evil in your life, in your family. You have seen those men and women in your life have different kinds of attacks from destiny swaps, especially if you are men. You have different kinds of attacks upon you, vampire energy, vampires upon your energy, your gifts, your blessings, especially if you are a female and they want your finances, they want your beauty, and they want your womb. And we understand with the men that those destiny swaps affect your finances. It affects your seed. It affects you in generational curses that will be carried out upon your lineage. So we want to be able to stop these types of attacks and hear the warnings that God has sent to us through the holy books, through the examples of the holy books, and through what we have been fighting in our own lives. Okay, so this will never cease until you decide that it's not just your parents, it's not just your siblings or your children, but it's also the ones who have given them the power and authority in order to carry out these attacks in your holy spaces, in your homes, in society, in business, in the government. We must have an understanding that it does not stop until we cleanse all the negative energy from our lives and shed it down. Okay, so it stops growing, so that we are able to use what God has given to us of the earth, that He is, that we are carrying out these cleansings in our lives and in our children's lives and everywhere that the negative energy has been dispatched. So I hope that you received this message from me. Please like, share, and subscribe to me over all of my platforms. Book your one-on-one sessions with me. You can also book your life coaching sessions or your video chat sessions. Please make sure that you're donating to my channel. And you can leave me a comment over all of my platforms. I'm High Oracle Reiki Spiritual Healer. Assalamu alaikum.